Hot off the press.
Now, I went to the Los Angeles Theology Conference, and you know that Oliver Crisp and Fred Sanders and the crew there at Fuller and Biola are into this analytic theology stuff.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Analytic theology is kind of like the cool kid on the block right now.
Yeah, well, it's more like it's a bit like that. All the cool kids are doing it.
All the cool kids are doing it. But Mike, I understand you were the not-so-cool kid at a panel which was discussing analytic theology.
I did. Look, I thought analytic theology is a very worthwhile thing to explore, but in football teams, I'd say I wouldn't make it the quarterback. It's more like special teams.
Special teams, you're kidding.
So you bring it on for certain particular tasks.
Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't make it the quarterback calling all the shots.
Really?
Really.
Wow, controversial, my friends.
So I want to affirm...
Controversial?
I mean, analytic theology I find very helpful for looking at areas that are involving paradox and speculative areas like God's relationship to time, but I wouldn't be making this the main tools I approach everything with. Okay,
shock and awe, ladies and gentlemen, because I went to a lecture at Fuller Theological Seminary a couple of months ago, and in that lecture, Oliver Crisp, who heads this movement, said that it's time for analytic theology to recognize the fact it is not special teams. It is not just a tool. Rather, it's a full-on movement that's going to make distinctive claims about Christian beliefs, fresh ones, new ones,
you say it's
creative ones. It's not special teams. It's the playbook. It's the playbook.
He was talking some smack talk against me, because that's what I said in my conference presentation.
Well, I'm telling you.
I think he's trying to smack me down. I think he has offended my honor. And I will meet him on the field of honor.
Yes. Like your friend Hamilton.
Yes, yes. And if he wants to be the bird in my Hamilton, well, bring it on. Except this time, Hamilton is not going to throw away his shot.
Oh my gosh, okay, I think we've started something. So, if you want to be up with this conversation, and this links into the book.
Yep.
If you want to be up with this conversation, you might feel like analytic philosophy is a little bit of a strange cousin to theology, and you don't know how to get into it.
Yeah.
Here's a really helpful resource for you. This is a great book by Colin McGinn, and he gets into the philosophy of language, and it's essentially a reader.
Yep.
So he goes way back and he tells you, why is philosophy of language a thing? Why does it matter? What are the kind of concerns? So for example, what are sentences? What are claims? What does it mean to talk about the sense of a sentence?
Yep.
How do you think about referring to things properly? And he goes through many debates that are very important in the philosophy of language. So he deals with Grice and Kripke and Frege and all those people. So if you want to get into analytic theology and analytic philosophy, this is probably where I'd start.
Okay.
This is the reader. It takes you through all the basic documents and their logic. So, Mike, it sounds like we need to put this...
Well, maybe I need to read this to gain a little bit more empathy for analytic theology. Not that I'm against it, but...
It's the real deal, man. I'm telling you, it's the real deal.
It's a deal. It's not... I won't say it's the only show in town.
Okay, but it may be driving the show. That's where they want to go. All right. Anyway, down the more pious end of things, Mike.
Okay.
There's another resource.
I like piety.
And this is a resource, it's in German, but it's the kind of resource that needs to be put into play in English.
Yep.
Okay, this is, in English, it would be Faces and Stories of the Reformation.
Okay.
And basically what's happened here is that Roland Werner, who's kind of like Germany's Billy Graham,
oh, really?
and Johannes Nelson, they have edited a volume in which there are biographies of Christians who have been inspired by the Reformation.
Yep.
And they're very short pieces with the key points in their lives, and it's basically for that meditative, sort of ruminative Christian reading before bed as examples for us. There's a few people that have really interested me in this volume. Dorothea Trudel, for example. David Livingston's in there.
Wow.
Konstantin von Tischendorf, who unearthed the whole
bunch of manuscripts in the Sinai, yeah.
Yeah, so these are all just great Christians in lots of aspects of life, and I think that there's a real place for this kind of work to be developed in English.
Okay.
So, some new books. The world of theology is alive and well, my friend. We're in safe hands.
We are. We certainly are. And I'll see you, Oliver, on the field of honor.